Crypto Sniper, short update on Monero. Here we are. This is the highs of, wait for it, 21 May, 4 years ago, roughly the 7th of May. We're looking at around about a 3 days, so that would take you 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see that we're about 4 years later. There's still some relevance to the 4-year cycle in terms of when highs may occur. I think it came a bit early for Monero. We should have had a longer run in, but then it got a little bit into bad coin, naughty people, all that good stuff. Let's have a look at the fibs in terms of its relationship during that bear market. We identified this deep blue line around the 177.35. As a key level of significance during that bear market. You could see it rolling in as support. There was even a little point of support when you were still going on the upside. You then broke down, you ran the 23.6, you bounced, went up to the 61.8. Again, that was kind of chopping and trying to decide bear market. That was the low. That was kind of the fullness of the bear market. We didn't get going in any great hurry, though. There was an extended bear vibe. So we ended up with a bit of an M bottom low like that. But it was, to simplify it like that would deny the full complexity of that inverted crown vibes that it gave you. That was pretty choppy. You can see it essentially pivoting around the 38.2, which was that key support point during that phase. So roughly getting up there and then running the 23.6 to the downside. So there's that crowning out feel that it gave, and then the final capitulation low. So that is in essence the draw of what is for us an M bottom. It's a complex M bottom. Many people don't see these things, but it's complexity. It's kind of what we refer to the base plated low. So if you ran a base plate under those lows, there's two successive lows. The real capitulation one that we put on the 0%, the one that was marginally higher that you failed to take out. Remember, that in essence was a little bit of a sign of some relative strength. The worst might be over. And then you're back at this key level, that is 177, that you let go for an extended period, roughly there, round about May of 2022. So high, May 2021. The eventual total final low actually was 2022. So you had a year's bull market. Then you had a year of nothing chop, basing around the low. You came down very close to testing it, and then you were back here. There was an upside HVF setup here, again slightly complex. Let's draw that as well with the fat Koki. So you had again a bit of an M-shaped first impulse like that. Then you had a second. We'll drop the time frames in a minute, and then the third. So this was showing a winding up process to get over that key level, the $177.35. So it's been a real point of, as I said, support and then resistance. Winding up, again, tapping up against it here, and then the squeezy Japanesey. Yeah, want me on the other side of the line. And so she goes, bang, 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 up she goes, and she makes that target. After she makes that target, dip down, and quite a bit of a frustrating churny type feel, dip down, marginally higher, then dip down, and then a spike low. Where does it support? On the funnel. That's right, that's the funnel of the upside HVF. That's why they're key levels of significance. You can find out all about that and learn more by hitting the link, catching up with us, watching us implement it in the market, and learning to build confidence in it for yourself. So actually, had you put a buy limit order there, you might have, in a schizo moment, managed to get a fill. Most people don't do that. It's pretty tough. But then let's take it into the more recent moments where Monero's been decidedly strong, and cover that. So I'm going to drop time frame. I just wanted to give you the context, previous high into the low. So that was the 3-dayer. We wanted a bit more detail, so we didn't run it on the weekly. I'm going to take you first to the dayer, which will bring us down to more recent history, and still leave you with a little bit of a feel for what happened on the winding up on the upside HVF there. There you see it, there you see it, there you see it. There she goes, and that was made quite promptly. And then again, you see the test down. Quite a bit of schizophrenic volume. It might also be a little bit the Kraken vibe in terms of the exchange. It's got quite a little bit, lengthy history. But there may not have been a lot of bid action on that particular exchange. So it's possible that Monero isn't quite as skittish as it's appearing here. But yeah, there were some big wicks. Let's just leave it at that. You also had the story, which we covered in a previous video where we mentioned Monero, and you had that run up and then the sell off. But that was showing that there's still bid strength coming in here. It's being associated now with every hustle, every crime, every scam. Oh, no, it's been downloaded, put into Monero, and etc., etc., etc. Off, and up we go. So 344 you're at. Now, the point we wanted to make is that made a key target. I want that level to pop. We've got the Fibos on, so it's kind of getting a bit lost there. But that was a key target. And in actual fact, with the BTC news, oh, Bitcoin was stolen and smuggled into Monero, that I featured in the previous video, and there's been more of that, you actually ran and did the target. So that was a great exit, even though you've gone higher, because you did pull back all the way from 316 to 270s something, 275s, 270 something. That's a good result, because it started to get choppy. But what this is actually showing you is that we're going higher after the respecting the target. Remember, it's a macro reversal. A head and shoulder doesn't just make the target. It's often a macro reversal with far greater downside, but it's the first resting point in what is a macro reversal. In the essence here, this is a macro bottom reversal moving back up, which is going to lead me to say I'm going to stick my neck out and also call for second, maybe even third time, the turn on alts versus Bitcoin on the Bitcoin dominance. We'll take a quick flyby on that when we have a look at it. So overall, I would say Monero is actually in my top 5 of possible holds. It could be what the dark state likes to use in smuggling all their money. In case you thought all those people in government were your friends, did you see the little people having a little noser? Yes, Macron and all of them having a little noser. They want you to know, and they want to show you how diabolical and amoral these people are. And who are making the games. It's all jolly hockey sticks for them, and they want you to be demoralized by it. Don't be demoralized by it. I've known they're all wackos, deviants, perverts for a long, long time. It's just confirmation. But the key thing is they're showing you a little behind the curtain so that even the normies get to realize that. And that's usually ends of empire. It's usually about to be overrun as a news event by maybe a false flag event, maybe by something else. So be careful out there. There's skittish times. It sure is skittish times for geopolitics, he says, spitting the words in the end, successfully. So this is a macro reversal, and I just thought I'd let you all know. We'll go back up to that big time frame. There's something else that we've discussed about this token that is in our community area. You can find out about that, why we have an extra point of interest. And no, it's not the secrecy and doing anything nefarious, technically, that I won't be covering here. But if you want to find out more, as I say, book a call. You can become part of what we're doing. But we're sharing this with you. That's a nice rounded bottom, by the way, as well. So we'll let you know all about that. You probably can spot that one for yourself. See the watermelon smile that we like to see. We see positive things. But do you whale in just after a target make? Maybe think a little bit. It could just keep going and really moon. It's been a bit of an outperformer. And you could see it wasn't that long ago that it put in a huge hammer test, as we were highlighting. Let's just pull Monero up, seeing as this is a bit of a Monero video vibe for you, and see if we've got a better exchange where it might not have done as much. Let's see Finex's take, slightly less skittish on the wicks. Take the very big Fibo off, because that's right from way back when. But you can see as well, and let's take all our lines off. You can see as well that still was kind of skittish. You can see it came back to the HVF there. This one was less so on the Bitfinex exchange. So I feel a little bit that Bitfinex has probably done it a better shout in terms of everything. So yeah, maybe not quite as skittish, but still has its moments where there's big wicks. Of course, this was the bear market. Lots of things came off. How bad was it on the downside in bear market terms from its all-time high? It's worth actually knowing this because I talk about the downside beta. It was an 81% retrace. So you've got to bear that one in mind. It's a big faller when it falls. You don't want to miss getting out. Localized highs. You might want to consider October, December, March, that period. Somewhere in there, is going to be the sweet spot. It could be the year end. But as we've also said, that makes this additionally tricky. The cycle could in fact extend a little bit. The cycle could extend. Why? Because debt-based collapse should tradfi a lot of other things. So it's a bit of a danger clause. You should probably take certainly at least 50% of it off by the end of the year. But just to protect you in case you just start getting the spiller thriller in a matter of weeks, you're way down. And then it's too late to go, well, my cycle extension. We can't promise you that. I do feel that long term that the 4-year gig is more a feature of Bitcoin. And as we continue to say, and we're going to say for the third time and hope to be right this time, we called this a possible reversal on the Bitcoin dominance. It didn't happen. We were standing by to call it there. Let's treat it as a call and a fail. So that's 2 failed calls on the reversal of Bitcoin dominance. We're going to say it again. Each time it gets lower, each time we have a better chance. Once, twice, 3 times a lady, you can say, maybe we'll be third time lucky. If you keep saying 9 o'clock, eventually it will be 9 o'clock. But yeah, I think we're a bit unlucky. That was quite a strong reversal there. And that was a big hammer. And we were in the zone. We didn't call reversals up top here. We didn't call alt runs up top there. We didn't call alt runs up top there. We didn't even call it there. So, we're back in this zone. We've always been disciplined enough to say it has to probably come in this zone. So that's why we started at this point over here, because you had dipped in. And again, but we're going to keep going every time we get a semi-decent reversal. But as I've said last time, it's a couple of swallows. It's not a full summer yet. So we could go, you could get a second spill down to the downside. But at some point that happens. We don't feel this ever runs that. Despite what they tell you, they need the functioning surveillance grid. And Bitcoin is not that by speed and pace. It's the status tokens, and yeah, that's what you got to look out for. There's our base plating low on the Bitcoin dominance. We accept being 100% wrong on our theory of alt dominance and Bitcoin dominance if you ever get below there. That is around 74%. We'd look, I think it's a touch lower on that 1 point, but we run that, then we're just wrong. Then the Bitcoin maxis were right about everything. We don't subscribe to that, and we expect a reversal, and then we expect to move somewhere up here in the 44, maybe the even lower. Remember, this is inverted Bitcoin dominance. That's going the wrong way. You can see it. So I would probably say we could get a draw there, and then very quickly you could run, or you could have a long pullback one more time for another bear market if we're still in the 4-year cycle gig, and that's still dominant. But if the traditional market is in a state of collapse and we get an acceleration in the valuations of the digital assets classes, this could come quickly. In other words, the third could be a short third. You could be up, down, and moon real quick. Doesn't have to go down much. By the by, you can see how lengthy the top was here. That was a spike top over there. This was a big topping out period that, again, didn't go to the extremes there on how far. So this is actually a big winding up setup structure, which we've called before could see Bitcoin fall below the 24% mark. That's going to be very positive for the likes of possibly Ethereum, certainly XRP, I would expect XLM, top 10 status tokens, Tron, a lot of the guys in the top 10, particularly those with a status emphasis. We've made it quite clear in our community what's our first fave for investment, second fave, third, and fourth. In terms of all of that. We've mentioned to you Monero, actually quite happy to discuss that one is now in the top 5 as a point of interest. Good, there you go. So we spoke about Monero today, where the key point is it is a proven reversal. So what's the message? What's the summary? What's the exact sum on your video, Francis? It's a proven reversal that currently has just had a bit of a surge and has made a target. So the entries now we'd probably be a touch late. Any of our guys that were in leverage trades would actually be distributing a tiny bit and reverting just back to investment. More medium, longer term, this is a very good rounded bottom. There's other reasons that we discuss in the community why this is a point of interest that are technical, not anything to do with the privacy aspect of the token. So standalone technically, that sees it potentially a useful hold for upside on an ongoing basis. And we have targets that we've generated for that in peak bull if we are to get that, which, as I say, probably worth taking 50% off at the year end, but you could leave a little bit on for full cycle. We'll actually have targets that if made, we will take off. Okay, on a much bigger time frame scale. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, hit the like and the share. Quick update on Monero for you and how it's just made a reversal target and is a proven reversal now. And once again, we say this time the alts are going to dominate, and we remind you that we've been early twice, which is wrong. But I think this example of Monero's performance is quite potentially now going to see the smaller but still significant caps moving fairly strongly inside the top 25. It's actually a rarity we're talking about. I think it's around 25 number, a token that is that far out, but it has a point of interest technically for us. Okay, till next time, talk to you later. Hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to share and like. We appreciate it. Book a call on the link below. Also consider buying gold on the links below, or utilizing the Simple FX, where you can use your crypto to trade gold, or you can use your crypto to trade crypto, BNB, you name it. They're all in there. Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the ones we like are in there as well. So those links are below. Till next time, bye for now.
Tired of profit wipeouts and blown accounts from following trade signal groups and other YouTube channels? Looking for a better way to trade, reduce your stress, and minimize your risk? Become a skilled technical analyst and see the charts and markets in a new light using the successfully proven HVF method by Francis Hunt, while being surrounded and supported by a principled, structured, and experienced community. Enjoy a constructive learning environment while practically trading markets, supported by a bespoke platform run through browser and app, specifically designed to teach and engage you whilst learning and growing as the markets move. This is not a Telegram or Slack signal group. All trade ideas are based on a proprietary technical analysis process honed over decades, which is the HVF method, leading to trade ideas with fast-moving breakouts and tight stops, exact entries and exits, nuanced interim considerations, and ultimately, strong rewards. Submissions are graded and scored by Francis for potential high-quality setups, and we provide bespoke tools to help get the job done properly and with precision. Over time and with focused effort, you'll begin to look at charts and price action just like Francis. Community updates every day by Francis and our 3 webinars a week provide a 360-degree approach, which are presented by our experienced team of trade leaders to spot potential trades. We're a community of self-actualized individuals, spanning the globe and active 24/7, 365. The premium community provides a warm, supportive, and cooperative place for people willing to listen, participate, contribute, and to learn. We've changed thousands of traders' lives. Transform your approach to trading now. Transform your life. Book an introductory call with us on the link below.